Yeah, I want to talk about the trade LeBron crowd. The Lakers go what 10-4 or 11-4 without LeBron, and then you start hearing people talking about trading LeBron. Hey, look, man, let me tell you something. And don't take this the wrong way. Many of you need the dopamine hit of a trade. Many of you are simple-minded. Many of you are in this for the fantastic nature of it. Fuck what you see on the court. Many of you would rather have the off season than the regular season. You'd rather have the off season than the playoffs. If I could guarantee you that the Lakers would make 10 trades in the off season, and for that you would have the Lakers miss the playoffs, many of you would take the deal, because many of you need the dopamine hit of a trade. That's what you're about. That's what you do. Other than that, many of you really don't have any interest in basketball. Look, LeBron came back, and in the second half, LeBron was the best player on the court. It's true. He was the best player on the court. Now, what would you guys would love? Many of you would love for me to sit here and have a million different suggestions as to what the Lakers should trade LeBron for. If it was possible. I don't even think it's possible. But if it was possible, you guys would sit here and just, let's talk about what we could trade LeBron for. And then there'd be a column on the side. And it says, well, how about we trade LeBron and a first round pick for whoever the fuck. And y'all would just keep going and going and going down there. And man, look, man, I'm telling you, it's juvenile. And I'll probably lose some of the few followers I have on this channel. I'll probably lose some for saying this. But, look at the production of this channel. You could tell I really don't give a shit. I say this stuff because it's therapeutic for me. But, man, so that's what many of you are about. Many of you, you see, as soon as a player starts playing well, your mind goes to, okay, what could we get for him? That's the most critical thought you got. A player plays well, starts to develop some value. What could we get for him? In many ways, that's a problem with the organization. I feel like over the last, I'd say 5 years or so, the organization listened to a lot of people who thought like that. A lot of simple-minded people who basically had orgasms whenever they heard the Lakers made a trade. And that's what the organization started to give us. I thought that Dorian Finney-Smith was very much that. It wasn't a coincidence to me that we traded for Dorian Finney-Smith. I'd heard his name floated around for many years. All the simple-minded people who say all they know is to make it sound like they know something about basketball is 3-and-D. That's all they could say. They keep saying 3-and-D, right? It is just such a stupid fucking notion. And that's what they just keep throwing out there. And they think it makes them sound like they know something about basketball. When all they got to do is say, the whole league is going towards 3-and-D. And there's some good 3-and-D players, and so there's some bad 3-and-D players. Don't just go get a 3-and-D because you want. Anyway, when we acquired Dorian Finney-Smith, I wasn't surprised one bit, because I'd heard Trevor Lane and the Kamenetsky brothers and and a lot of fans saying, "Oh, he's 3-and-D." Man, give me a fuck. Dorian Finney-Smith ain't help us that much last year, you guys. You go pick up some run-of-the-mill 3-and-D player, some average player who happens to shoot threes and play some defense. They're still just an average player that shoots threes and plays defense. Well, all you did was make it easy for Rob Pelinka to go out there and get something that you've been pandering for, and then turn around and tell you to shut the fuck up. I got what you wanted. Shut up. My job is done. I could sit out another whole off season. See, some of you guys got to understand that, there's organizations that do stuff because they want to do stuff. And then there's organizations that actually listen to the masses and do stuff to appease the masses, especially when they know they have no way of being successful. They're not going to have a championship year. They're going to fall short of expectations. Then you start seeing those people, those teams, do stuff to appease the masses. And many of you just keep giving them easy ass ways to appease the masses. Right? How could you hold Rob Pelinka's feet to the fire when you keep yelling 3 and D like a dumbass, right? And so he goes and gets you the 3 and D that you've been yelling about for many years. What you gonna say to him? You know? People would rather be wrong than admit that they F something up. It's an easier space for a lot of people to live in just to be wrong. You know, they'll acknowledge they were wrong to themselves, but they're not going to acknowledge it to everybody else. Yo, trading LeBron James was one of the dumbest things that I heard, given who he was, because I'm going to tell you this right now. LeBron James, at times, still may be the best player in the NBA. He may be the best player on the Lakers right now. Look, when Chicago Bulls had Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, and this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, because if you just listen to the talking heads, if you just go through the number of highlight reels, right, you might think, I'm just going to make this another video. But yeah, I wanted to make a video to say, you know, all you guys who were saying that we needed to trade LeBron, you guys really need to be a little bit more critical and a little bit deeper thinkers. You know, try to go a little bit below the surface with your thought. Because let's face it, you need the dopamine hit of a big mega trade. The bigger the better. And then you could live off that dopamine hit until the trade plays its way out. And you could see who actually won and lost. Right? That's what you need, man. I mean, when we traded for Luka, it was the biggest dopamine hit the NBA had seen for 5 years. Okay? Now, as a fan of the Lakers, as a fan of the NBA, I'm not living for no fucking dopamine hit. I'm not an addict. I don't need that. The game satiates me. Let it satiate you, man. Stop chasing the dumb shit. Okay? Alright, this is Pure Uncut Lakers, y'all. Please like and subscribe. I'll hit you next time.